In the Middle Ages, a new civilization was founded on the British Isles. It was a realm forged in chaos. Saxons claimed the earth, Vikings plundered the coasts. The island was ripe for conquest. Stone castles soon dominated the landscape, locking the island in a Norman grip. From the wreckage of an ancient empire, a unique identity emerged. This is the story of how Britain was born. During the first 4 centuries, Britannia was at the edge of the Roman world, a province of infrastructure and law, and sculpted by order and industry. But the Roman machine could not be sustained. By 410 CE, the legions were recalled. Britannia was severed from the continent, leaving a fertile ground for chaos and conquest. A power vacuum emerged. Managing the vast territory from a single centre was now impossible. Britain's fragile peace was shattered with the arrival of the Vikings. In 793 CE, the dragon ships arrived at Lindisfarne. Managing the northern frontiers was becoming impossible. As smoke rose from sacred halls and sea-battered cliffs, a sudden power vacuum emerged. A new Britain was being sculpted in a crucible of plunder and paganism. The great heathen army did not simply raid and retreat. They arrived to settle, conquer, and carve their own kingdoms in the English soil. By the year 870, as the flames of battle consumed the island, one man stood defiantly in the mud and rain. King Alfred. Refusing to be erased from history, Alfred engineered a massive grid of fortified strongholds. Behind these muddy walls, the Saxon bloodline would survive. In 1066, the death of a childless king fractured the English realm, plunging the island into a bitter 3-way struggle for the crown. Across the sea, warlords watched, plotted, and calculated their moment to strike. The throne was empty. Driven by ruthless ambition and a contested royal lineage, King William amassed a colossal invasion force, defying treacherous waters to seize power. Normandy mobilized. The Battle of Hastings decimated an entire geopolitical structure. Confronted by a disciplined storm of King William's knights, a lethal rain of arrows, and calculated cavalry charges, the impenetrable Saxon shield wall finally splintered. Harold Godwinson collapsed. The island was conquered. In the winter of 1066, a brutal transition of power was formalized in Westminster, replacing the Anglo-Saxon elite with Norman overlords. A new dynasty began. Subsequent northern rebellions were engulfed by the harrying of the north, a ruthless deployment of scorched earth tactics, widespread starvation, and mass elimination. The north was silenced. Stone fortresses soon popped up across the conquered landscape, projecting military might, enforcing taxation, and permanently subjugating the native populace. The Norman grip tightened. By the 12th century, Britain was already a continental superpower, its borders expanding through strategic marriage, relentless warfare, and complex feudal allegiances. While Richard the Lionheart pursued crusading glory in the distant east, the English administration withered under the erratic and predatory rule of his brother, John. No longer willing to endure royal tyranny, the fragmented barons unified their positions, demanding a fundamental restructuring of the relationship between crown and subject. Managing the kingdom was becoming impossible. The Magna Carta provided the blueprint for law, limiting the sovereign for the first time. Edward I carved his legacy in stone, encircling Wales with an iron ring of castles. The frontier was permanently sealed. But in the north, the hammer of the Scots met a resistance that would never break. They found a northern spirit that refused to be enslaved to a southern crown. In 1348, a dark shadow fell that no castle could stop. The Black Death arrived. It ignored walls and wealth, spreading terror and decay. Nearly half the population vanished, leaving a feudal order that was shattering under the weight of mass graves and empty fields. Labour became valuable, and so the common man began to find his voice. The Middle Ages ended in the blood of the Wars of the Roses, a battle for the crown itself, a violent collision of bloodlines that cleared the way for a new dynasty to emerge. A battered crown, lifted from a hawthorn bush, was placed on Henry Tudor's head. The old warlords were broken, the feudal age was dead, and a unified nation began to rise. 1,000 years of history are forged into this map, a defiant island, a legacy that refuses to break. This is Britain.
Join our council. Subscribe to History Decanted and command the knowledge of ages.